Good morning. Welcome to a morning review on Wednesday, the 10th of February. This is Kim Watson speaking for Easy Trader. So, looking at the euro dollar first, and as you can see, yesterday we finally broke through the prior highs there with quite some surge and dollar weakness coming right away through and being reflected with the euro absolutely flying at one stage. Looking at where are we running now? We really need to come out, look at the dailies in a bit more detail, look for some resistance levels. Possibly the 115 area is sort of next sort of level, although 114 is not that far away. I'm just looking in terms of, we didn't have a lot of resistance there last time, so 115 may be a more of a resistance point if it does push up that way. Now, yes, Yellen testifies later on today, the Fed chair, and it's expected that she's going to be coming out with some rather dovish sort of statements, which could see euro, etc., pushing up further. Now, there's a lot of people expecting the dovish statements, and hence some of the movement and some of the price action that we're seeing at the moment. It's starting to be built into the price. So, well, we'll see what happens leading into that 3 o'clock statement. But for now, well, we have got a couple of things to bear in mind, and one of them is the position of daily pivot, which is just below us there. So if price does continue this sort of short-term corrective move, we could see it running back down towards that 112.64 area. However, if it starts breaking this trend line here, well, as I say, we could be up for the bigger picture, running up towards at least today's R1 there. It's 113.65. And maybe pushing up further in the next couple of days. Okay, so that's where we are there. As I say, any downside short term, I think maybe the daily pivot may find some support. If it breaks that sort of area, then we could come back to the 60-minute 50. Cable. Pound dollar had a funny old day yesterday. It ended up, but never showed the same sort of strength as we saw with the euro. But it's got into a real choppy sort of mess on the 4 hourlies here. And when you come down to the hourlies, you can see what it's done. It's effectively started to put a higher low in there and popped and broken the prior highs there, and it sort of looks like it might be on a sort of a switch here from this sort of what was certainly lower highs and lower lows sort of situation. So it's looking like the trend's changing. Still got its daily pivot below us, so at 144.55 sort of area. So it's still got that to be hit potentially, but it's a real mess at the moment. So it's not making life too easy for identifying things here. But if it does push to the upside, maybe breaking this trend line across the side here, it could run up towards yesterday's highs or pass yesterday's highs up towards that R1. Any breakdown or bigger breakdown may find support. There's a whole mesh of moving averages below us there at 144.44, and that may just provide quite a significant support patch or area. Dollar yen, well, the yen again gained yesterday, but it gave back some of its gains later in the afternoon, and it too is looking a bit sort of shaping up a bit different here. Not quite. It's more of a consolidated phase than anything else, and it hasn't really put any higher highs in. It's more in a sort of a wedge type pattern, which, as I say, is consolidation. And if we do start seeing it sell off and break these lows, we could see it running down towards its daily S2. At the moment, it's already hit daily S1. It's pivot. A break of the upper side of the wedge, well, with the 50 MA may come into play, but thereafter the R1 would be a reasonable target. Aussie dollar. Need to really come out to see this in a bit more detail. It's yesterday it sold off strongly, and in the afternoon picked up again with all the other currencies when they were starting to buy it, but there's a lot of buying coming in. Or selling of the US dollar, I should say, really, and well, it's put that hammer in, and looks like it may well again. It just needs to break that high of yesterday, and it could be on for a further upside. Really, that will confirm a higher low, and maybe again a bit of a change in direction here. Now, of course, if Yellen comes out this afternoon, and particularly dovish, we could see some real sort of moves in these. Canadian dollar, well, it's funny old pattern yesterday. Really didn't really manage to get any higher, and it's almost, I mean, only just broke the prior day's lows really there. Found a bit of support back into the lower band. With a weak oil price, I would have expected it to come up some more, but it just shows you how weak the US dollar is effectively when the CAD, which had been really mirroring oil for a while, has stopped mirroring it quite so much. So at the moment, my preference is for further upside on it. I mean, you can see the potential higher low coming up here, but again, we just really need to break this trend, this downward trend that's sitting there. So I'd like to see a little bit more movement. Just draw on here. It's got its daily pivot below first, which I'd like to see that out of the way. But if it breaks this sort of, there's a trend across here, then we could be pushing on for the R1 and maybe even Monday's highs. So that's pretty much it. As I said, today at 3 o'clock we got to the Fed Chair Janet Yellen testifying. But before then, this morning for UK news, we got the manufacturing production numbers out at 9:30. So a bit of volatility maybe around that period. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. There's nothing else on the news front. So wishing you a great day. Bye for now.